Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be diving into a common problem that many drivers face: trouble accelerating. Whether your car is slow to pick up speed, hesitates when you press the gas pedal, or just feels sluggish overall, this video will help you diagnose the issue and get your car back up to speed. We'll be covering a wide range of potential causes, from simple fixes like a dirty air filter to more complex issues like a faulty fuel pump. I'll also be sharing some troubleshooting tips and tricks that you can use to narrow down the problem and get your car back on the road as quickly as possible. So, if you're experiencing acceleration problems, be sure to stick around for this video. I'm confident that you'll find the information you need to get your car running smoothly again. Ignition system problems. The ignition system is responsible for creating the spark that ignites the fuel-air mixture in your engine's cylinders. If there's a problem with any component of the ignition system, it can cause your car to have trouble starting or accelerating. Some common ignition system problems include spark plugs. Worn or fouled spark plugs can prevent the spark from reaching the fuel-air mixture, leading to misfires and poor acceleration. Ignition coils. Faulty ignition coils can also prevent the spark from reaching the spark plugs. Ignition wires. Damaged or corroded ignition wires can prevent the spark from reaching the spark plugs with the correct voltage. Distributor cap and rotor. In older vehicles with distributors, a worn or damaged distributor cap or rotor can cause ignition problems. Fuel delivery problems. The fuel delivery system is responsible for delivering fuel from the fuel tank to the engine's cylinders. If there's a problem with any component of the fuel delivery system, it can cause your car to have trouble starting or accelerating. Some common fuel delivery problems include fuel pump. A weak or failing fuel pump can't deliver enough fuel to the engine, leading to poor acceleration. Fuel filter. A clogged fuel filter can restrict the flow of fuel to the engine, causing starting and acceleration problems. Fuel injectors. Dirty or clogged fuel injectors can prevent the correct amount of fuel from being injected into the cylinders, leading to misfires and poor acceleration. Sensor problems. Your car's engine relies on various sensors to monitor its operating conditions and adjust performance accordingly. If one of these sensors fails, it can send incorrect information to the engine control unit, ECU, which can cause starting and acceleration problems. Some common sensor problems include mass airflow sensor, MAF. The MAF sensor measures the amount of air entering the engine. A faulty MAF sensor can cause the engine to run too rich or too lean, leading to poor acceleration. Oxygen sensor, O2 sensor. The O2 sensor measures the amount of oxygen in the exhaust gases. A faulty O2 sensor can cause the engine to run too rich or too lean, leading to poor acceleration. Throttle position sensor, TPS. The TPS sensor tells the ECU how far the throttle is open. A faulty TPS sensor can cause the engine to hesitate or surge when accelerating. These are just a few of the most common causes of starting and acceleration problems in cars. If your car is experiencing these symptoms, it's important to have it diagnosed by a qualified mechanic to determine the root cause of the problem and get it fixed. The first thing you should check if your car is having trouble accelerating is the electrical system. A weak battery, faulty spark plugs, or a failing ignition coil can all cause problems with acceleration. If you suspect a problem with the electrical system, it's best to take your car to a mechanic for diagnosis and repair. Another common cause of acceleration problems is a vacuum leak. Vacuum leaks can occur in a variety of places, such as the intake manifold, hoses, or gaskets. When a vacuum leak occurs, it allows unmetered air to enter the engine, which can cause the engine to run lean and hesitate when accelerating. If you suspect a vacuum leak, you can check for signs such as a hissing sound coming from the engine compartment or a rough idle. In some cases, acceleration problems can be caused by problems with other engine management systems and components. These can include the fuel injectors, the mass airflow sensor, or the oxygen sensor. If you suspect a problem with one of these components, it's best to take your car to a mechanic for diagnosis and repair. Diagnosing engine hesitation can be a challenge, as there are many potential causes. However, there are a few things you can do to help narrow down the problem. First, Try to identify when the hesitation occurs. Does it happen when you first start the car? Does it happen when you're accelerating from a stop? Does it happen when you're cruising at a steady speed? Once you have a better understanding of when the hesitation occurs, you can start to look for potential causes. The repair for a car that hesitates or jerks when accelerating will depend on the underlying cause of the problem. If the problem is caused by a vacuum leak, for example, the repair will involve fixing the leak. If the problem is caused by a faulty sensor, the repair will involve replacing the sensor. In some cases, the repair may be more complex, such as if the problem is caused by a problem with the engine management system. If your car is having trouble accelerating, there are a few things you can do to diagnose the problem. First, check the electrical system, looking for a weak battery, faulty spark plugs, or a failing ignition coil. Next, check for vacuum leaks, which can occur in the intake manifold, hoses, or gaskets. Finally, check for problems with other engine management systems and components, such as the fuel injectors, the mass airflow sensor, or the oxygen sensor. If you're unable to diagnose the problem yourself, take your car to a mechanic for diagnosis and repair.